apparently, every time you start up a new character, it randomizes whether or not the sex is going to be male or female. Because last time I played, like last time I did it, it on a, like defaulted to female, and this time male. It's kind of neat. All right, so depending on how long I take on this character creation, I might sort of break off the character creation part into another video. If it is, I'll just put a link now. Anywho, so male, place of men in society, yada yada. Okay, so it varies from like society to society. It's kind of neat. Next, race. We have the humans that do resolve of 1, which is concentration and deflection. Okay, will and deflection defense. All right, and might is damage. So humans do like concentration and will and damage. All right, commonly called folk. Wow, that says lovely things about humans. Omawa? Omawa, yeah, alright. So, basically the aliens from Avatar. Or at least that's what it looks like to me. They are just strong, alright? They're pseudo-aquatic, affinity for water, yada yada, naval dominance, unparalleled might. Okay. Dwarf, because you have to have dwarf. So, it looks like you get 2 bonuses, and then if you have more than that, you get a negative to the thing. Alright. So dwarves are dwarves. Strength and tenacity. Constitution, I assume, is, yep, health and fortitude. Alright. Elves. Dexterity and perception. Makes sense. Although they're known for their speed and intelligence, but they don't give a bonus to intelligence. Ooh, they're isolationists. Yay. Orlin? Oh, good lord, they're little crazy dudes. I think these guys were a Kickstarter extra. I don't know. So, negative might, increased perception, resolve. Alright. And the fun ones, the godlike. They're basically, I think, any of the other races with crazy stuff on their heads. So, been blessed with physical aspects associated to gods. Many forms come with mystic powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical. Godlike are unable to wear protective headgear, as it is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because their unusual nature and ability to reproduce, they're often viewed with fear and wonder. They have dexterity and intellect. Alright, so I think, yeah, they have sub-races. So there's the Death Godlike, which gives... so they do extra damage to things with lower endurance, which is cool. Fire Godlike, oh, that's cool. Right, so they get damage reduction and do fire damage when things hit them when they're below 50% endurance. Moon, also nifty. Moon Godlikes, for every encounter they do like a AoE healing when reduced below certain percentages. Nifty. And Nature Godlike, that's also kind of neat. Alright. Okay, so more bonuses. Okay. Orlin, what do they have? They have Hearth and Wild Orlin. Whoa! That's a lot of hair. Looks like hair anyway. So Hearth. Huh. It's nice that they do this little rollover tutorial tooltip thing, because otherwise, you know, if you've never played the game before, you'd like convert some of their hits into crits. What? I don't understand. So I guess that like a percentage of their hits turn into crits when they're attacking things that are targeted by a teammate. It's nice. Okay, after will attacks, like after being hit by a will attack, they gain bonuses to their defenses. Elves have wood and pale elf, so drow, I guess. Most stationary ethnic groups in the world. Increased damage reduction, nice. Wood elves. So basically, if you're doing a ranged character, make them a wood elf, because bonuses to accuracy, deflection, and reflex when things are further away. Dwarves get mountain and boreal dwarves. Mountain dwarves resistance to poison and disease. Yay, D&D callbackish. Because that was always their thing. They were immune to poisons and boreal dwarves gain 15 accuracy against creature of the wilder or primordial types. Amawa, they get coastal or whoa. I kind of like the looks of the island ones. It's kind of cool. Coastal gain bonuses to defend against prone and stun effects, and island get an additional weapon set. That's neat. Humans, of course, get options: meadow, ocean, or savanna. So, Caucasian, African, and Asian, I guess, Middle Eastern. So Savannah get once per encounter, 5 seconds after being reduced below 50% endurance, gain bonuses to accuracy and damage. Yeah. So that's the same across all the... Oh, that's... that's no fun. The same regardless of which branch you are for humans. Since I'm gonna be a cipher, which I believe, like the psychics, they take intellect and dexterity are two of their big things, so I'm gonna make it godlike. And I think moon godlikes look actually kind of cool. So gonna go for that. Oh yeah, and godlikes you can have them be any race. So godlike can be of any race, which is nice. It doesn't like make any difference because the godlike bit overrides. Let's go for less bulky elf. There we are. So, however, let's just go over all the classes here. Barbarians start with Carnage. When they hit with melee attacks, automatically make reduced damage attack at all other enemies within a short distance. That's kind of cool. Fun times. I like the armor they have there. Cipher, which is what I'm doing, is kind of neat. They're psychics, mind hunters. Can directly target allies and enemies with powerful soul-focused effects. These powers cost focus, which they build through their soul whip, which is like a little glow around their weapon that I think does a little extra damage. Fighters, constant recovery. Fighters continually regenerate endurance at a modest rate during combat. That's cool. I'm sure there's much more beyond the starting ability, but so paladins have inherent bonus to all their defenses. Over the course of the game, value of these bonuses may shift based on the reputations of the paladins. The paladin gains relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her order. That's kind of cool. So if you're... I kind of like that. So Rangers get an Animal Companion. Animal Companions don't do much damage, but they have high damage reduction, yada yada. If one dies, the other suffers as well. Wizard, they're a wizard. Harry, wait, what? So Arcane Assault, mid-range attack that hits a small area. for raw damage and can leave targets dazed. That's kind of neat. And then they have spells, because wizards need spells. Chanter. I think chanters are kind of like the bard-ish kind of thing. They have the ability to do phrases of chants, which they can continually speak chants made up of magical phrases. Phrases produce passive effects and help build a chanter's power until they can use an invocation. Invocations they can create after they've spoken a required number of phrases through their chants. It's kind of interesting. And then obviously they have high deflection, low endurance, low health, average accuracy. What does Cypher get? Cypher gets low endurance, low health, average accuracy, high deflection. Yay. Okay, so druids get to shapeshift, because what's a druid without shapeshifting? And then offensive and some support-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, they automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As they gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to a per-encounter use. Well, that's nice. I don't think they can like hold anything in their hands when they're shapeshifted, which makes sense, but this is another one I'd actually kind of like to play monks. So starting abilities: when they have no weapons equipped, their unarmed attacks are exceptionally powerful and continue to increase in damage as they gain levels. And then they get wounds, which as they get damaged, they absorb some of the they don't take the full damage. Some of it gets turned into a wound and does damage over time, and then they can use those wounds to power special abilities, and so they effectively don't take that extra damage. So it's a weird damage reduction thing. It's kind of neat. Priests, they get spells because priests, yay. They have a thing called Holy Radiance. Generates a moderate amount of endurance for allies around the priest. Any enemy vessels caught in the area take burn damage and may be frightened over the course of the game. It may shift based on the reputations they gain relative to the behaviors preferred by his or her deity, which is also kind of cool, kind of like the paladin. Rogues are rogues. They get sneak attacks and flanking and all sorts of stuff. So there's that. Let's do Cypher. What should I do? Briefly transforms the outer shell of an allied soul into energy. Releases an electrical burst around them. Yada yada. Creatures standing in the area around that take shock damage. I shall take that. Power that blinds them. Nice. Tenuous grasp. Let's do 1 damage and 1 utility thing for start. What's the range in Soul? Okay, 6 meters. It's not bad. Eye strike. So this is just gonna blind someone in an area of effect. Dazing and blinding. That seems useful. So intellect, highly recommended for Cypher. I'm going to go to 18 because, makes sense. And then, so might is damage regardless. So even a wizard would want might, I guess, because I think that deals with the spells. So I'm gonna go dexterity up to 15. Because this is a real-time combat, and dexterity makes things, including spells and abilities, fire off faster, which is always nice. And then might of 14. So plus 12% damage, 15% action speed, increased area effect, duration, extra will. Seems like a plan. And then where am I from? Aedir Emperor. Aedir Empire, which gives you a bonus to resolve. Largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. The Dreadfire Archipelago. Amawa settlements, pirates, all sorts of stuff. They do dexterity. It also apparently affects your starting weapons. So Aedir gets a one-handed sword, or like a bastard sword kind of thing it looks like. Dreadfire gets a mace and a shield. Examital plane? I don't know. They get resolve. Very large expanse of fertile savannas. They get a spear. One of the oldest in the world, having spread through the least imperialistic, though one of the least imperialistic, having spread out little over the past several thousand years. Old Vilia? Crumbled remnants of an empire, warring nations, counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks. The old Vailian countries are still forces to be reckoned with, proud of their rich cultural heritage. So more intellect, dagger and rapier. Rautani, axe and short sword, extra constitution. Dominated by the Almana, number of nations, yada yada yada. Okay. The Living Lands. Extra might. Mountainous region of large northern island. Renowned for diversity of plant and animal life. Weather is unpredictable. Home to assortment of races and a variety of colonial and merchant colonial and independent settlements. They have might and a bow. I think as a cipher I might want to start with a bow because ranged attacks and all that, because I have very low health, it said, and very low endurance, so seems like a good idea. Plus more might, and that brings me to 15, 15, and 18, which makes sense. What do I want to have as my background? Explorer, colonist, labor, merchant, drifter. Well, a scientist, I see. I know I want at least one lore, so that gives me merchant, scientist, explorer, or mercenary. I think either scientist or explorer. Let's go explorer. Survival can't be a bad thing. Let's look at the options for the head here. Whoa. You know, is it just me that kind of look like the Andorians from Star Trek if they had crazy glowing purple things going on? You know what, I'm actually going to check out and see what they look like as female. Alright, so their heads, they get... Whoa! Oh, with a little thing, and that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's alright. Whoa. I like that one. You know what? I think I like this more than I like the male options. It just looks really cool. So I'm going to go with a female character. And then I think I can change the armor colors later on, because that's armor. So I'll change it whenever. Appearance. Do they have... They only have the one. Only one moon godlike appearance. So apparently I can have a female character with a male portrait. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I guess they didn't figure many people would go for a moon godlike. Well, the joke's on them. Ha! Yeah, most of the options seem to be the nature godlike, whatever the heck that was called. Those ones almost make me want to go back and choose a fire godlike. Those are really cool little portraits. Especially like that one, that's really awesome. But, I'll go with that.
Yes?
I shall lead us.
Voice options.
After 'em!
Time to see and not be seen.
Leading the way. Charge!
Nice and slow. Yeah? Follow me.
Keeping an eye out. Now I am leader of the group.
This would be funny.
Ha! Let's keep quiet. Yes? Leading the way.
My, what a masculine voice you have.
To whispers and shadows. Oh?
I shall lead us. Ah!
Time to see and not be seen.
I've got this. After 'em!
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
I think I like Mystic, so we'll go with that. Alright. So, name, standard female character name, go. Alright. So, we're done. I might edit that out just to put it in its own little separate video, because that did take a while. Now, on with the actual game.